What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back again with another video. Today, we've got a lot of action-packed news. We've got a lot of crazy stuff to talk about. I'm going to have to film like 5 to 7 videos in the next few days because there is so much to talk about. So if you love Leafs trade news, rumors, everything like that, make sure to like and subscribe. Join the team. Join the squad. Join over here, man. Like, we're big on Leafs here. We have lots of fun, so I hope you guys will be interested as well. So let's waste no more time. Let's get right into it, and we're going to talk about Matthew Knies and some of the speculation regarding an offer sheet. And I know what you guys are thinking. Oh my goodness, this happens all the time. But we have to be honest. Matthew Knies is 22 years old, one of the best young players in the NHL, in my opinion, just because he's been so good. Like, the guy is legitimately a power forward in the making. He's shown a lot of great signs. He's physical. He can put up 30 goals. He looks good in the playoffs. He looks comfortable, but he needs a big raise. He's a restricted free agent. And of course, the rumors are always going and going and going. And this is what Saravalli had to say, okay? He basically talked about the fact that a lot of teams could be prepping an offer sheet. He could be getting, somewhere around the likes of 8 to 8.5 million. Some people are figuring 7.25. It's kind of all over the place. But that teams could potentially be preparing an offer sheet that could fetch the Leafs 2 first-round picks, a second, and a third. Now, the reason why I don't agree with that is because this is the compensation. It would make teams have to pay Matthew Knies between $9.3 million to $11.7 million in order for that compensation to happen. And if people aren't familiar with offer sheets, if a team were to offer Matthew Knies, let's say $9.5 million over 7 years, if he signs that contract, the Leafs have to match it. If they don't match the contract, then the Leafs will allow Matthew Knies to go to that team and they will recoup 2 first-round picks, 1 second, and 1 third, according to that evaluation. In my opinion, what likely could happen is teams will still try to get this 7 to 9.3, but more in the 7, maybe $8 million range, and give up a first, second, and a third. The reason why I think that is more likely is because it forces the Leafs to make an uncomfortable decision. If they were rather happy with trying to have Matthew Knies on a 3 to 4 year bridge deal at like 5 or 6 million, or maybe even less, and if that's what Knies was kind of thinking too, but then he gets this offer that is pretty big, 8.5 million over 7 years, could be a pretty good deal, and he signs it, the Leafs might be forced to do it. And that's what I think teams are more than likely going to try to do, is to maximize the Leafs dollar if they decide to make an offer towards Knies. But from every report that we're hearing is that the Leafs and Matthew Knies are working on an extension. They want to try to get something done. So I'm going to believe that, but we'll have to keep ourselves updated here. I just don't believe that teams are going to be willing to throw 9.5 or 9.35 or whatever for that 2 first-round pick territory. I don't think that that's possible. If they do that, I would be greatly surprised. But the biggest news, and I'm sure why a lot of people are clicking onto this video, Andy Strickland talking about Mitch Marner not returning to Toronto and will be playing for a new team come next season. And for a lot of people, they thought, yeah, okay, where's your sources? Well, Elliot Friedman on 32 Thoughts, the podcast, kind of followed it up with like, yeah, I think everybody kind of knew that this was not news and that this was just confirming it, I guess. Elliot Friedman is also pretty tuned in. I know Andy Strickland, all respect to him. Like, I don't know him personally, but I do know him as a reporter. He's had quite a few people use him as a legitimate source. So basically what everybody's saying is what we all believe, and that Mitch Marner has basically decided that he wants to move on. And what I find interesting as well is that apparently the Maple Leafs have been reaching out, okay? So here's some other thoughts here. Not the Caitlin Clark tweet, but shout out Caitlin Clark. She's fired. She's been doing amazing things in basketball. Look at that. This is the clutch performer the Leafs need in the playoffs. No joke either. First tweet here from Nylander Thews. This guy always is tweeting great stuff, giving good updates. On 32 Thoughts, Freeman said the Leafs have tried to talk to Marner, but his camp is not engaged. Freeman also said that some of Marner's teammates have privately suspected he's planning to head out west. Not confirmed, but LA and Vegas are teams to watch. And then James Myrtle via the NHL Rumor Reporter saying Vegas is one of the favorites. And then David Pagnotta said the Hurricanes are looking to give Marner an offer that could be over $14 million per season. So there's a lot to take in there. First, if Marner's camp is not even responding to the Maple Leafs, the writing should probably be on the wall. The Maple Leafs reportedly offered Mitch Marner $13 million per season in season, and he wanted nothing to do with it. He was pretty adamant that he was going to be going to July 1st, which it looks like that's true. So again, if LA and Vegas are teams that are one of the favorites, they will probably have to pony up a lot of money because, again, if the Hurricanes are willing to go to $14 million plus for Mitch Marner, that's a big contract. But what I will say is that I think a lot of teams are using this offseason as a test dummy, and that's why the Maple Leafs could be in trouble a little bit, because I know they do have $25+ million to work with here, and maybe even more if they make some trades. But I think a lot of teams are looking at how the NHL salary cap is going up and thinking, look, let's use this year to sign a bunch of big names, because in a few years, these contracts might be $18-19 million for some of these players if they were in the open market. So with the cap going up, player percentage for contracts go up, and that's just life. That's what happens. And if the salary cap in a few years is $120 million in like 4 or 5 years, that $14 million contract to some teams is going to be nothing. It's going to be like whatever. And another thing, Myrtle says the Ducks, the Sharks, the Blackhawks, and Utah are also willing to pay Mitch Marner upwards of $14 million per season. So they all have over $20 million in cap space. I mean, so do the Maple Leafs, but the Leafs have a bunch of spots they need to fill. So very interesting, something that we're going to have to keep an eye on for sure, but that's kind of like our Mitch Marner update. What we all kind of knew, what was inevitable, is that Mitch Marner will likely be leaving. It just makes too much sense for him to go and test the open market. But we got to talk about a pest, a guy that's been a thorn in our side for years. We got to talk about the Rat. We got to talk about Big Nasty Brad. We got to talk about Brad Marchand, 37 years old. But I think I'm also taking the crazy pills. If this is the crazy water, and I'm sick, so we're gonna take a sip of the crazy juice. It tastes great. Okay, if we're gonna be drinking the crazy juice, I think I'm also drinking it. Okay, we gotta pay this guy. I don't know what's got into me lately, but I don't care. They gotta pay this guy. Maybe I'm nuts. I never try to be too biased on this channel about who I want and what should happen. He's a playoff performer. The guy's 37 years old, and he looks like he's dialing back the clock. He's physical. He's an asshole, pardon my language. I know there's kids that watch this. I know he's 37, but we need to talk about what he's doing right now, okay? He came to the Panthers, played 10 games, 4 points, whatever. Then he gets to the playoffs. He's got 20 points in 22 games. He has 10 goals. This is the type of production, obviously more, but that we wanted out of some of our big name guys over time. But Brad's a big reason why the Panthers are where they are. Like, he's scored some big clutch goals in big clutch times, but this could be the problem, right? 6.125 is his previous deal, and apparently it could take $8 million per season to get this guy locked up. But here's the reason why I'm doing it, okay? If the Maple Leafs are going to try to be better and they want to switch the DNA of their team, Brad Marchand's not going to let this team have the same DNA as they've had before. And not only that, if Marchand has 2 more good years left in him and that last year's not too bad, the cap's going to go up so much that contract's not going to be whatever. It's going to be who cares at that point, right? The Maple Leafs need a guy like this. It is what it is. They need a guy like Brad Marchand. He's an ass. He's a pest. He's physical. He puts up numbers, and he rises in the playoffs. And I heard SDPN talking about it, Steve Dangle podcast. Imagine, and I think it was Adam Wild. Imagine Matthew Knies learning from this guy. We would just have another Brad, peak prime Brad Marchand on our team. And we would have literal Brad Marchand teaching them. That's what they need. And I want you guys to decide down below. Am I nuts? Are you nuts? Are we crazy to think that Brad Marchand would or wouldn't be a good pickup for this team? Let me know. You guys got to let me know. If you're new here, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Join the squad. I'd love to have you guys here. Lots of hockey discussion coming up. Lots of good stuff coming up. And I want to see you guys in the next video or stream. Peace.